Men have read it. What's the hardest thing to explain to women? Why I don't know what the duck my best friend is up to in life even after hanging out with him all day. I was at home when my wife and her friends got home one day from the pub. They were all giving me funny looks and smirking. I asked what was going on. They at first refused to tell me. After a little while of prodding, one of them goes, "I heard all about your dick." And they all broke into laughter. I was a little taken by surprise but laughed and said something like, "Oh yeah. Hopefully all good." And they laughed, and that was the end of it. After they left, I was like, "What the hell did you tell them?" And my wife responded by saying how she told her friends about our vigorous romps on our honeymoon in Mexico, apparently in great detail. We were there for a week and probably had sex about 3 times a day. We were both pretty sore when we got home. We had an all-inclusive, so we ended up getting day drunk and got pretty physical with each other as you do on a honeymoon. She was like, "Whatever, you probably tell your friends all about us when it's just the boys. I don't know about you guys, but the extent of what I ever say is usually a raised eyebrow and something like, 'Oh yeah, Bobby.' I have never once described my wife's body to a single one of my friends, nothing in detail about any of my sexual partners, from before my wife, and it blew her mind. Apparently girls talk in great detail about it, guys usually don't. And they assume we do, and we assume they don't. I don't know about you guys back in my promiscuous days. Here's how the conversation would go with my friends. Did you end up banging her last night? Yup. Nice. Tongue. Yeah. Cool. Eat pizza. The fact that we can ride in a car with another man for 5 hours and not say a word drives my wife crazy. I drove 400 miles with my father to go see my sister, and most of our conversation topics were about when we will stop and eat something and how good our meals were. And there's nothing wrong with that. At all. Yeah. I love my father to death, but we don't talk that much. We show that we care about each other through actions. Also, when I know I won't see him for a while, I give him a big hug like I did as a child and tell him that I love him. I don't always want to be the one that initiates sex. It makes me feel like a creep. It doesn't necessarily make me feel like a creep, but it makes me think the girl doesn't actually want sex most of the time. When a girl does ask for sex or initiates it in her own way, it makes it so much more fun for me and takes out a lot of the anxiety and stress that sometimes surrounds sex in a relationship, because it really does feel like a two-sided give and receive situation. I've tried so hard to explain this to my GF and previous girlfriends before. It's really hard to vocalize. They think I'm not interested since I don't want to initiate all the time, and that's really not the case. When you say, "Does this outfit look okay?" and we say, "Yes, you look stunning," and you reply, "Well, you would say that," half my brain thinks, "Please believe me because you do look stunning," and the other half thinks, "WTF did you ask me for if you aren't going to believe me?" Edit. Thanks for all the replies and upvotes, folks. Just woke up and noticed I had many replies. I should add that this was just a generic example. I do tell my wife she's as beautiful. I do say things like, "Yes, that color really suits you," to try and help put her mind at ease. We've been together for 20 plus years and are really strong together, so she knows I think she's amazing. Some of your replies really made me laugh. Cheers all. Have a good day. Yeah, my wife would always say, "You're supposed to say that." And I'm like, "No, you really are beautiful." But, apparently, if a 17-year-old boy compliments her, she'll ride his dick. Shit just went from 0 to 100 pretty quick. Pretty sure it went to 17, actually. That we don't know every detail about everyone else in my life. When I mention I hung out with someone, my mom will ask me what their wife does for a living and can't understand that it didn't come up in conversation. That just because I'm quiet in your presence doesn't mean I'm upset. Just means I'm either tired, don't have anything to say, or I'm thinking about something. You can pop a boner without being aroused. You can get a boner even when you are nervous. Heck, sometimes I can't get a boner when I'm aroused. And sometimes I get one because I'm hungry. Sometimes I'll get a boner due to boredom. Like my body just senses it and goes, "Here buddy, play with this." Boners are weird. Here buddy, play with this. Why can I relate to this on literally every level? I am convinced it is our mind's way of saying, deplete your bodily fluids or you get prostate cancer, Billy. After many a years of waking up with morning wood, knowing that my last dream was not sexual, more on the line of fishing in a boat, in a living room, within a library or some other kerfunkel, I've determined that morning wood is only so I don't piss the bed. Who are you who is so wise in ways of science? Sometimes an erection just happens. We don't control the thing, it's a physical response that could literally be from nothing. I accidentally walked into a door the other day and I got rock hard. Kinky. Why I have peed in my backyard is surprisingly high, her words, number of times. Yet more reasons to want a backyard. Or a front yard, side yard, driveway, or tree or any sort. I have to constantly explain to my wife why my 2-year-old son is obsessed with his penis. I have to explain why he always wants to touch it and grab it when his diaper is off. She will never understand why our baby and his father share this habit. Edit, it seems I should have worded this a little differently. Oh, this made me laugh. I'm a mom and a grandmother and boys are obsessed with ensuring A, that their penis is still there. Be amazed at how far they can stretch it. C, why does it get hard like that? D, I love my penis. Look at my penis. Best toy ever. So eventually you have to tell them it is okay to love your penis and touch it and admire it, but you really cannot play with it so much out in public. Other people think it's weird. But they still do. I guess they learn the guy tricks to penis adjustment, eventually. Both my sons were horrified for me when they realized I didn't have a penis. It was amusing. Freud has spoken about this before. It is hard for children to know the opposite sex don't have the same anatomy than they. I remember I was in shock when I realized women don't have a vagina. Edit, men don't have vagina. I will let that because as a funny mistake. Wow, till women don't have vaginas. A lot of us aren't great at picking up hints. Hashtag X200B, edit, thanks for the silver. When we say we don't care, we really don't care. Yes, we can have an opinion on something, but when we say we don't care, that means our opinion isn't strong enough to sway us either way on something. I learned to say I don't have a preference. That always seems to come across better. When I say I don't have a preference, my girlfriend tends to take it as me saying I don't like either option, and she'll scrap the plans entirely. I actually mean both options sound fine or even good, but I truly don't have a preference between them. P at an angle. Or the vaunted split stream, usually post direction. That just because I'm a guy doesn't mean I don't care. I've had women talk to me about guys losing their hair. He's a guy, so he doesn't care. I know a lot of guys who hate being bald or the fact that they are balding and their hair is thinning and hairline is receding. This idea that we don't care or don't care about our looks because we are a guy is ridiculous. I really hate how much hair I've lost. I mean, daily. Multiple times a day. Same man, it started receding and then seemed to halt for a few years, so I never thought about it. but lately it seems to be getting worse each time I look in the mirror. Do not let anyone take a picture of you from above. Save yourself. Those self-checkouts at the grocery stores have cameras looking down from the top. Sometimes you catch a bad angle and damn. Most of us don't get complimented, so if you do give us one, well, remember it forever. One time after getting a haircut and wearing a rather nice new outfit, I was shopping at Target. The 5-foot-tall middle-aged Hispanic checker smiled and said, "You look like a Mudadel." I blushed and stuttered out a thank you. This was like 5 years ago. For reference, I do not nor have I ever looked like a model. It is all relative. At Target, you are a god.